story time, and I'm going to be telling you a story of an orphan rhino. Jimmy, the story of an orphan rhino. Jimmy's first mommy looked just like Jimmy, only much bigger. Her feet were much bigger, her ears were much bigger, her tummy was much bigger, but most of all, she had a long, beautiful horn growing at the end of her nose. Up and up it went, up past the monkeys and to the baobab tree, up past the brightest colours of the rainbow, up to where the stars and the moon sit, higher in the highest places in the whole wide world. It is because of this beautiful, beautiful long horn that one day Jimmy's mommy didn't come home. It is because of this long, beautiful horn that Jimmy came to live with his second mommy, who didn't look anything like Jimmy at all. So there's Jimmy with his first mommy. Jimmy followed his first mommy everywhere. Wherever you would see her wandering, you would see him not far behind. As she burrowed for roots and bulbs and along the beautiful, with her long beautiful horn, so did Jimmy. As she stretched up to pluck young buds from the trees with her upper lip, so did Jimmy. One very important thing she taught him was how to tell the difference between a stick and a stick insect, and he didn't end up with a wiggly, tickle in his tummy. Jimmy and his mommy were grazing in the long plains. All was peaceful and the wind was blowing gently over the grass. Whoosh, whoosh, munch, munch, munch went Jimmy and his mommy. Munch, munch, munch. They were feeling so happy when bang, bang, bang. Jimmy! There was two poachers. They were shooting at Jimmy's mommy. Oh no! Jimmy was not sleepy anymore. He and his mommy were running as hard as they could, running and running. Jimmy's heart was pounding in his ribs. He could hear his mommy beside him blowing hard. Their eyes were wide and fearful. There's Jimmy and his mommy. Oh, and there's the horrible men with their guns. Bang, bang went the guns again. Jimmy and mommy stumbled and fell. Jimmy was terrified and ran to hide behind a rock. Chop, chop, he heard as the poachers chopped off his mommy's beautiful horn. Thud went his heart. A little tear squeezed out his eye. Day turned into night, which turned into day. Jimmy lost all track of time. He heard boots walking across the hot gravel. Ah, there were some game rangers. They were looking. Poor little chap. We'll have to take him to Anne. She will know what to do. She will look after him. And that is how Jimmy came to live with a second mommy. So there's the poachers. And they took Jimmy's mommy's horn. And there's some nice men who've come to help Jimmy. Jimmy's second mommy isn't much bigger than Jimmy. In fact, she was smaller. Her feet are much, much smaller and they look like yours. Her ears are much, much rounder. They look like yours. And she had a small nose just like yours. Her name was Anne. Anne's house was full of animals, and children and grandchildren as well. There was a cheetah that lay on top of the car in the hot sunshine. Oh my word! There was a buffalo eating grass on the front lawn. There was a lion yawning on the sofa. And there was a crocodile that slept under her bed. Oh, that sounds a bit scary. There's the lion and there's the crocodile. Jimmy's special friend is a calf called Martin. Jimmy and Martin went everywhere together. Jimmy was Martin's favourite animal in the whole universe. As soon as the birds of the day began to chatter and the sun poked up, Jimmy and Martin would wake up and go straight to the dining room for breakfast. Here they are. They liked to have milk for breakfast, but not just a little bit like you and me. They had lots and lots and lots, and then a little bit more. Can you guess how many bottles of milk Anne had to give Jimmy every day? Not 1, not 2, not 3, 30 bottles of milk every day. 10 for breakfast, 10 for lunch, and 10 for supper. Oh my word. There they are. There's the little calf and there's Jimmy. Anne and Jimmy and Martin can often be seen out walking. They walk through hot scrubby grassland and over the dry and windy pans. They walk through the rich green forests. Anne likes to walk. Martin likes to walk, but Jimmy doesn't like to walk. He shuffles. Jimmy shuffles slowly with his nose trailing along the ground, learning which plants he can eat and which ones he can't, and which ones taste sweet and which ones don't. But Anne and Martin haven't been shuffling or chasing butterflies. They haven't been blowing grasshoppers, so they're quite a long way ahead. Jimmy moves fast, super fast, faster than a jet on a scooter, faster than even a speedboat, or nearly as fast as a shooting star. He needs to catch up like a rocket through the air so that he can get. He thunders towards Anne and Martin. The ground trembles as he thunders and bellows along, and Anne and Martin brace themselves because rhinoceroses do not have very good eyesight. In fact, quite the opposite. So Jimmy only really knows he's caught them up when he's right on top of them. That could be a bit uncomfortable, being bumped over by a rhino. Look, he's chasing the butterflies there, and he comes bellowing down. He's a funny rhino, isn't he? The days pass, weeks pass, months and years. Every day Jimmy comes to the dining room hatch to get some breakfast, and every morning he and Martin head off for another adventure. Like the time Jimmy fell into a vehicle inspection pit and had to be hurled out by ropes. There he is, poor Jimmy. Or the time he used Anne's mattress as a blanket. Oh dear, poor Anne. Or when he helped himself to tea and coffee. It was a bit of a mess. Jimmy's growing up and he's now 6 years old, and he no longer comes home to Anne's house every night. He has made friends with other rhinos. And he comes home when his tummy rumbles a bit, but he still knows Anne is a second mommy. And when he goes for a walk, you never know if he may come thundering along to meet her. So there you go, there he is. As for Anne, her house is still full of animals and children and grandchildren. You may still find a buffalo on the lawn, or a cheetah in the car, or maybe even a rhino in the bathroom. A rhino just like Jimmy. But Anne worries that one day Jimmy may not come home because you see Jimmy now has a long, beautiful horn, just like his first mommy. Up and up it goes, up past the monkeys and the baobab tree, up past the beautiful rainbow, up to the stars and to the moon, higher and higher, to the highest place in the whole wide world. And as long as Jimmy has a long, beautiful horn, he will be always in danger. All over Africa, rhinos are getting killed for their horns. Nowhere is safe. Behind every bush lurks a horrible, horrible shadow of a poacher. Please, can you help me? Let's make sure that what happened to Jimmy's first mommy never happens to Jimmy. We can all make a difference. Our voices can make a difference. We need to speak out. We need to tell people not to poach rhinos. And that's the end of the story. So there they are. Beautiful rhinos with their long, beautiful horns. And you know what? This is based on a true story. So this really, really happened. Jimmy's mommy was really killed by a poacher. Isn't that sad? And Jimmy really did go to live with this lady, Anne, who looked after her. And there needs to be lots more people like Anne who look after animals. Isn't that great? And you and me can also look after the animals. We have to be people who speak out and look after and make sure that the animals in Africa, the animals in Zimbabwe, our big five are kept safe. Remember our big five? The leopard, the lion, the rhino, like Jimmy, the buffalo, and the elephant. We need to look after the big five, and you need to talk about them to people and tell people it's not good to hunt the big five. Okay, especially the rhino. And I have a song that is dedicated just to Jimmy the rhino. Okay, and so it's a song saying the animals of Africa are calling one by one. Okay, so we're going to sing it. The animals of Africa are calling one by one for the hunters and the poachers to put away their guns. We don't need the ivory, we don't need rhino horns. All we need is the animals free as they were born. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. All we need is the animals free as they were born. The animals of Africa are calling one by one for the hunters and the poachers to put away their guns. We don't need the ivory, we don't need rhino horns. What we need is the animals free as they were born. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. All we need is the animals free as they were born. So that's a special song to remind us that we need to look after the animals of Africa. Bye.